Corporal Inday is here. It's Sage and Tony.
YouTube, boom, our VIPs, crushing it. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's kick off day 4. Please help me welcome to the basement stage, Mr. Tony Robbins.
Uy, naka-white din amazing! Naka-white din si Sir. Tingnan si tatay. Kahit di niyo ako nakikita, okay lang.
Make a sound that unleashes you.
Woo! Sit properly, Kristen.
Yes. High fives, virtual or in person. Come on,
Woo-hoo!
go.
Naka-wait si tatay.
Then sit down in a peak state. Take a sip of water. Hydrate. And then you know the drill, more energy sitting than when you were standing.
Record yun. Gina-record yung ating kagabi.
Oh, yes. If you're feeling strong this morning, make a fist and say yes.
Dr. G!
Say yes. Well, welcome back to your ultimate 2022 breakthrough, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo-hoo!
We've covered quite a bit of territory these days, haven't we? Even these just short little sessions. And today, we've talked about changing our life by changing our story. We've talked about the ways to create a breakthrough, understanding it's all about state first, not strategy, and then story, and then strategy. And then we can obviously produce the result. And we made some shifts in identity, looked at a little bit about how to grow your business or career and branding. So what's the next subject? If you think about your life, there's only a few subjects that really matter. I remember my teacher, Jim Rohn, used to say, most people major in minor things. They know everything about some celebrity's personal life, but they don't know that much about how to stay healthy or strong or have a great relationship or grow their business. And so we've been focusing on the more important lessons. There aren't that many. It really comes down to your body, your emotions, your relationships, your finances, your career, and the spiritual side of your life are pretty much the core. Maybe how you manage time if we add one more. And so today we're going to talk about the subject that personally, when it comes to an extraordinary quality of life, this is it. Because you can have a great level of health and energy, you can have a great business, but if you don't have love and passion, the aliveness of love, not just we're hanging out together, that's friendship, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But the only difference between a friendship and an intimate relationship is intimacy, right? And so if you and I are going to have the greatest joys of our life, we really got to have this area well done. I can't tell you all the people that I have the privilege to work with who are the most successful in the world at what they do, whether it be in business or finance or in sports or entertainment. And yet there's so few that are really totally fulfilled because so few people really make this area work. And part of it is our culture has taught us things that make it really difficult to have a great relationship. It's taught us false things.
True.
It's all been a reaction. How many of you have ever been in a relationship and it was really bad, and so you threw your pendulum and you went for the other extreme, and it was equally bad in a different way? Who's had this before? Make some noise if you know what I'm talking about, right? Our culture has done that as well. And so out of trying to be politically correct, we've done things that tear away at the foundation of what creates real passion and aliveness in a relationship. And if you think about it, else in your life is great, but there isn't love. There isn't that aliveness. Or there's a big hole, isn't there?
Yeah.
And so today our focus is going to be, how do you take a relationship if you already have one, and how do you transform it? How do you figure out what's tearing it down, and how do you rebuild it and make it where you want to go? Or if you don't have a relationship, how do you really create it? Once you start to create it, anybody can make a relationship work in the beginning when it's all chemistry. But what do you do to keep it going, to make it fully alive? What do you do to make it something that is the greatest gift of your life? And I'm grateful because I have that in my life today and have for the last 22 years. And she's going to join us for the second part here, so you get a chance to hear her point of view, not just mine, hear a lady's point of view. But I think relationship also is the place where you have the chance to grow spiritually the most. A lot of people say, no, my life is all about spirituality, and they go off in the corner and they meditate. And I think that's a beautiful thing. But any idiot can go in the corner and meditate and stay in a good place. Can you stay in a good place when the source of love, the love you crave most, isn't responding to you, seems to be rejecting you? See, what's our deepest fear? Do you remember? Everybody's got a fear of rejection or frustration or failure or love. But it all comes down, if you remember, to the deepest fear everybody has, which is, I'm not enough. That's what people are afraid of. If I'm not enough, I won't be loved. And where on earth can that hit you harder than someone whose love you desperately crave and love? And if all of a sudden you feel like you're not enough for them, pretty devastating. I saw yesterday a young man, a strong young man. He wasn't weak in any way, and his girlfriend had broken up with him yesterday, and he was in tears. But he did a beautiful job of saying, my old identity was I depend on everybody else to feel a certain way. And what I've learned from this, finally snapped out of it, is like, I've got to be whole inside myself so I can bring something to the table. The biggest mistake in a relationship, and what makes people have problems, is they have all these expectations about how it's supposed to be. They're going to get something. And if I wanted to give you the best piece of advice I've learned in my own life, is a relationship is not a place you go to get things. It's a place you go to give things. See, in the beginning of a relationship, that's what most people do, isn't it? How many of you in the beginning of a relationship, how many can remember the beginning of a relationship where you're out of your mind, really in love with this person? Who's ever had those feelings? Make some noise if you've had those feelings. And in the beginning, it was about, like, what can I do to light them up? How many of you in the beginning of a relationship plotted, schemed, got excited about it? You were so excited to light this person up, to do things that make them so happy, where that was your focus and that made you happy. How many can relate? Make some noise if you can relate. And there's this weird thing, when you're no longer in the beginning or chasing, when the relationship feels more mature, a lot of times what people start to do gradually is it all becomes about, what am I getting or not? And the minute you start measuring in a relationship what you're getting versus what they're getting, you've turned it into a transaction.
Yep.
And transactions are not relationships.
Yeah.
So write this down if you would. The quality of my life is the quality of my relationships, especially my intimate relationship. And that's the one people try to avoid. In fact, most people try to suck all the love out of their children because that seems like certain love, comfortable love, love that won't go away. These people don't have a 16-year-old yet, clearly, right? Or a 17-year-old, where some of those things might start to change, right? So instead of that, I'm talking about a different kind of love. I'm talking about an aliveness, a passionate love. So I thought maybe before we start, we're going to do a couple things today. I'm going to bring in, because in a real, a live event, with a little more time, obviously, than this tight frame, and I do a lot of interventions. And some of you, the people that are with me on Zoom, know that afterwards we do Q&A, and usually it turns into some form of intervention meaning where we start to help someone rewire, so it isn't just understanding the principles, but it's getting them to make the real shifts. And so today I'm going to show you an example of a couple that was at the brink. And by the way, when we get to the brink, there's lots of options. One is it just ends and you both hate each other. That's the worst option. Another option is you come together and you make it work. Another option, you come together and you commit at a different level of loving each other, and you might discover, hey, this is not the right relationship for me long term. But you now love each other and are dear friends, and you can open it up and learn from that experience and not have a wound. And that's how people grow. And then often those people can find new relationships and find something that's better suited for them, but still love each other instead of this cut off.
Just realize we are just friends. Dapat nga hindi kinakat off pala, di ba? Hindi kinakat off. Friends lang. Lolo.
This is a terrible situation, walking around with pain. And so we're show you an example of a couple in real time, and it's so valuable because it's on the brink, and there's so many lessons. And I'm going to ask you to take notes like crazy. And I'm sure what destroys relationship, how do you expand it, how do you create it, how do you take the next level? And we have a cool assignment. And then for the VIPs, Sage will stay with me and we'll do some Q&A with you guys as well. So that's what's ahead. Who's excited about the day here, ladies and gentlemen?
Woo! I'm so excited to see Mommy Sage. VIP na ako next year.
All right, stand up. Stand up if you would. Oh, so here's what I want you to do. Shake your body out. And what we're going to do is get associated. You know,
this is how
one
I
of the most
do it.
important things in life that we all intellectually know, but we don't all do, is when you want to make a change in an area, oftentimes it's not the way you want it to be. You carry the baggage, the emotion of the heaviness of, it's not where I want it to be, and that lowers your energy. Does that make sense? And the lowered energy, the survival brain comes out, and all you think of is what can't work or what went wrong or blaming yourself or blaming the other person, and blaming yourself or the other person never works. Taking 100% responsibility to find a way to make it better or to end it consciously and create what's right for you and for that person long term, that's a different game. But in order to do it, it's like anything else. You got to have a higher level of energy, and you got to know why you're doing it.
Yep.
As simple as that is, Jim Rohn used to always say, find a big enough why, and you can figure out how to do anything. In other words, reasons come first, answers come second. If you get strong enough reasons to do something, you can really find a way. So a lot of people have not been connected in a while to what relationship means. So here's what I ask you to do. Make a move that makes you feel strong. Make a strong move of some sort. Make your move. Do it again. Make your move. Make your move. Make a sound that unleashes you and feels great. Make a sound that unleashes you.
Wala. Sila nasa Zoom. Ay, wala. Nasa outside world.
Yes. Now, stand tall, feel strong, and close your eyes. Now, with your eyes closed, I want you to just think for a moment of one of the most beautiful or romantic or sexy or sensual moments of your life. I know you got plenty. If you don't have any, make one up. What the heck? Right? But just think of a moment in your life. It could have been decades ago, years ago, could have been moments ago. I don't know. Maybe you were busy right before you got on this call here, on this program. What's one of the most romantic, sensual, or sexy moments of your life? And then, you don't have to, I'm sure you got plenty. Pick one. And just for a moment, if you can, imagine stepping into your body as if you were there again now. Like right back in that moment. And as you do, I want you to look through your own eyes and see what you saw then. I want you to hear what you heard then. Either what they said to you or what you said to them. That's it. Or you thought in your own mind. And then breathe the way you were breathing in the moments that felt most beautiful or sexy or sensual or alive. As you breathe it and feel it like you're there, I want you to notice, what were you focused on when it felt so beautiful to be with this person? You felt this connection. What were you paying attention to? What were you appreciating about this moment within yourself and with this human being? How were you breathing when you felt incredible? What were you focused on? What were you experiencing? That's it. Now touch your hands, both your hands to your heart if you would. Physically touch your heart and breathe deep into your heart. And as you touch your heart, breathe into your heart, you may remember that where focus goes, energy flows. So I want you to breathe deep in your heart. Feel as you take breath in, the heart filling with oxygen and blood flow. And it feels so good. And I want you just for a moment to step back in that moment as you're breathing in your heart, feeling all of these beautiful feelings. And I want you to make a sound of what it felt like. And I don't want you to hold back. Really strong sound what it felt like when it was most ecstatic, most beautiful, most romantic, most sexy. Make a sound out loud. Go ahead, make that sound. Do it again. Use your whole body. Extend your body if you want to. Make the sound of what it feels like. This week. And then I want you to think of another beautiful moment. I want you to think of another. Keep breathing in your heart, feeling the beauty and strength in you. Another beautiful, romantic, sensual, or sexy moment. Special moment that you really loved at any time in your life. Step in your body as
a time that is about to happen.
As you were in that moment. And once again, breathe deep. See what you're noticing, what you're appreciating that made it. What was special about it? What made it so special? How did
Just
it
so
feel?
connecting. Like,
what were you focused on? What were you enjoying? What were you appreciating? What were you experiencing? Breathe deep into your heart and feel that moment like you're there. And then once again, in a moment, I want you to make a sound of what it feels like. The peaks of these moments, ecstatic moments, beautiful moments, exciting moments, loving moments. Ready? Let it build up in your body. Feel like you're there. Let it build up. 1, 2, 3. Make the sound of it as strong as you can and enjoy it. That's it. Do it again. Double the sound and enjoy it. Double it. One more time. Triple that sound.
this is what I'm gonna. I've recorded myself for my YouTube channel and you're gonna see me. Oh my gosh. Sana hindi niya panoorin.
How did you feel this? What made it so special? What were you focused on? What were you noticing? What were you enjoying? That's it. And I want you to feel it. What would you be willing to do to have this feeling all the time in a relationship? What would you be willing to do to have this feeling all the time? Like, doesn't mean every single moment, but every day, throughout the day. What would you be willing to invest in the happiness of the other person in order for you both to feel this way? What would you want to give to the person you love so you both feel this way? Here's a question. What would you be willing to let go of in order to have this kind of love all the time? What would you be willing to let go of? What
my fears.
Expectation? What belief? What emotion? What past emotion would you be able to just let go of so you could be free and have this feeling? What belief used to limit you in relationship that you could just let go of about you or them or reserving or desire?
Yeah.
What fear would you be willing to let go of to have this feeling all the time? If you're committed to have this feeling all the time in a relationship, what would life be like? I want you to think of one more moment now, one more great moment in your life, another separate moment that was beautiful, that was gorgeous, that was romantic or sensual or sexy or playful or connected. Think of one more. And I want you to step in your body, breathe in your heart, and step in your body like you're there again. Step in your body like you're there. See what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt, breathe the way you were breathing. Fill up with that feeling, notice what you're noticing, appreciating. And then make the sound with all you got of how good it feels to feel this alive, this much joy, this much love. Extend it.
Yep.
Make a sound out loud. Go for it.
There you go. That's for you.
Extend your body if you want. If you let go of your heart, just feel it all. That's it. That's it. That's it. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's it. That's it. That's it. Now, what would you be willing to give to enjoy? What would you be willing to let go of to have this all the time?
Oh, okay. It's part of joy.
Feel it deep in your heart and soul. Decide this is something you're going to make happen. You're going to recreate it. You're going ask someone to feel it, and then open your eyes. Give thanks for the beauty of what you've already had in your life, which means
I'm
you
not
can create it
wearing
again, or a whole new level of it, or a deeper level.
That's right.
And I want you to sit down just for a moment, and I'd like you to write in the chat 2 things if you want. What made it special, and what would you be willing to let go of or give up? What fear, what belief, what limiting thing in order to create this all the time? But sit down if you would, feeling strong, and put it in the chat if you're willing to. What made it so special? And what would you be willing to do to have this all the time? What fear would you be willing to let go of? What limitation? You got about 2 or 3 minutes. Go ahead and type if you would. What do you got to let go of in order to create this again and even more deeply? Go of being fear, from being hurt.
Yes, he hears me.
Safe, which means faith, because it's not always feeling safe. 2 things if you want. What made it special? What's the new belief that would replace the old belief that would free you? What's a new belief? What's a new emotion you could replace the fear or the frustration or the anger or the anxiety or the loneliness with? What new belief would empower you? What's a deeper truth? What does your soul know is true when you're not in fear? If you weren't afraid of rejection, if you weren't afraid of being hurt, what would you do? What would you experience? What would you share? What would it be worth doing or letting go of in order to have this kind of love and passion? What are you willing to commit to create this in your life? What qualities would you want to bring to this relationship to enhance it or unleash it or connect it again? What's gotten in the way and what are you going to do instead? Jot it down. What's gotten in the way in the past? In you, what's gotten in the way? Not somebody else. What do you need to do instead? What do you do now to make it better? You guys are doing such a beautiful job. Yes, just let go of it. What belief would you let go of? What emotion would you let go of? What old story? What's an old story you need to let go of? And what would be your new story in relationship? Nice, Nancy Cap. Accept and love my husband as he is. What a concept. We all want to be loved, not judged, right? Accepting myself as I am. Nice, Arnell Harper. Beautiful. Appreciation. Old story, Laura says, something's wrong with me. New story is, I'm filled with love and I'm here to share. Nice. About a minute left. Forgiving yourself. Yes, are you for love? Are you for animal rights? Are you for giving? And be forgiving to you. Be for it.
I hope he gets
That's
this.
it. That's it. That's it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful insights. Now 30 seconds left. Nice. Letting go of self-blame. I love it. Yes, taking on belief I am truly loved and looking for the ways I'm loved and building on success. Nice. It's okay to be me. Very nice. It's okay for them to be them. I'm worthy. That's it. Beautiful. Just the limiting beliefs, the limiting emotions. If you identify them, let them go because we can replace them with something more real. It's just like any other piece, letting go of the old story, creating the new. The best way to do it, though, is in a high energy state. Nice, Nicholas. You're going to embrace being vulnerable. That takes more energy. When you're high energy, it's easy. Feel with joy. That's it. Beautiful. Radical acceptance.
It feels
nice, Victoria
like
Rose.
home.
Letting go of counting what they've done.
His heart feels like
nice.
home.
Stop measuring. Maureen's fun, fun, fun. That'll change any relationship. Beautiful. 10 seconds. So many shares. Thank you. Thank you. 5 seconds. So many good ones. 4 seconds. Time distortion when you're in love. There you go. All right. Time. How many of you both can remember a time that inspired you and got inspired to say, I want this. How many feel a little more of that connection right now here, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
And just like, if you've done the homework on priming, and if you haven't done it, again, there's no charge for it. Just go to TonyRobbins.com/priming. But if you do that little 10-minute exercise in the morning and you don't have the relationship you want, or you're in a relationship and it's not the way you want, you can take that time, find the things you're grateful for, and you can take that time to create it in your mind and re-experience it. Our minds are so easy to condition, but most of us don't work our minds. We let the environment just trigger us instead of building muscles so we're in charge. Right? We want to use stress, not let stress use us. We want to create what we want, not just manage our circumstances. So let's ask you first this question. You know how every year in January, I don't know if it's scheduled, I haven't seen it so far, but the President of the United States does a State of the Union. And he gets up and talks about the State of the Union and usually says it's strong and gives the reasons why. But the state of your union, another human being, really is the state you bring to that union. Let me explain. Right? When you're really excited about someone, when you feel that connection or you feel that energy for another human being, what happens? Your energy goes up or down, guys? Which one? Show me. Which? Way up or way down? Come on, show me which one. Way up, right? Make the sound of what it's like when you have that